But that's why you should listen to Snaps, your premier source for daily CFB content. I'm one of your hosts, T-Bob Hebert, as always, joined by the guy, I guess, who knows a little bit about quarterback, QB1, record holder, Aaron Murray. What's up, Aaron?
What's up? Happy Monday, everyone. Go like, subscribe, share. We are 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away, actually, from some football. 2.5 weeks away from my first game. So getting ready to go, do my homework over here so that I am more prepared than T-Bob. Excited to get back in the booth. Yeah.
I will say this. No, this is completely random. Brum, did the Volume ever release our underdog thing? Is that come out yet? Because
I'm not sure if the underdog thing came out.
I cannot remember where I had one conversation or another. Did we talk about Chris Leak on this show?
We talked about Chris Leak before one of the shows. We did not talk about it during the show.
Okay, well, I'm just going to open today's show in a very random manner for 2 minutes here. And that is that Chris Leak is incredibly underrated. And the reason why, I kind of blew the delivery here.
Because we're talking about, I was giving my Tebow slander that he's the most overrated player in the history of college football.
Bro, who do you think?
Or Chris Leak?
Who do you think?
How is Tebow the most overrated player in the history?
Hold on, bro. Do not cuck my conversation here, okay? You do not get to
thing I've ever heard.
You do not get to deep take my point here. Who do y'all think is Florida? Now you know, but who do you think Florida's all-time leading passer is? That's not surprising. That's not surprising that Chris Leak beats out Danny Warfel, Tim Tebow, all these other guys. The fact that he's 5th all-time in terms of touchdowns with 88, tied with Tim Tebow, 1 behind Peyton Manning. He's 3rd all-time in yardage, career yardage for the SEC. He won a national championship. Florida, he was a former 5-star in high school. And granted, the only reason I learned any of this because I was looking up Aaron's record. So shout out Aaron, who's number 1.
Good work, Aaron. Nice.
Thank you.
But I mean, why do no Florida fans Tim Tebow even took the credit for Chris Leak's championship?
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of cucking,
magic player, he was Taysom Hill. Yeah, and he cucked Leak's championship. Shout out Chris Leak, man, wherever you're at, dude.
What is Chris Leak doing? Yeah, wherever Chris Leak is at right now. I will always remember Chris Leak for the ball being up here and his wrist being extremely cupped. And
didn't they used to coach that though?
A little bit. I know they coached the ball being up by your ear.
Yeah, like that.
But he was extremely cupped with it.
Cupped instead of cocked. You meant to say cocked back and you said cupped.
Cucked.
He
got cucked and he cucked it back.
I don't know, Aaron. Do you know what? Is it a cockback? Aaron, do you know what a cuckold is?
It's a sexual term, I believe. Correct.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
It's when you like to watch somebody else have sex with your partner. So they're kind of, it's your partner, but they're having sex with the person, and you're just watching. Maybe you're being maybe you're just you're just watching on the sidelines. Maybe you're getting involved and doing real freaky stuff where you're kind of being degraded. Maybe you're being verbally degraded. There's levels to everything, like Cam Jordan tells us. But that's when I say cuckold. Chris Leak, that national championship is his. And yet here Tebow comes in just every now and then, and all of a sudden everybody wants to give him credit for it because he did a jump pass.
Can everyone listening to this show, though, please jump in the comment section and just rip Brumley a new one for saying Tebow is the most overrated college football player of all time?
I mean, yeah, Brum,
I love your takes. Might be one of the worst takes I've ever said.
And I love the heat. I love the heat. Go ahead and defend it.
That year that he won the Heisman, they went 8-5. So, good stats that game.
That's crazy. Is that true?
It is true.
What about what was Louisville when Lamar won?
Lamar Jackson isn't considered one of the greatest college football players of all time.
Yeah, I'm just asking. What?
That's an irrelevant point.
He won. He was part of 2 championships. Won a Heisman.
He was part of. The ball boy was part of 2 championships too.
Okay, no, that's
he won a national championship.
I don't know if I don't think that's a straw man. Is that an ad hominem? No, it's not an ad hominem. Yeah. That's some sort of. Yeah, okay, yes, there we go. That's what I was looking for. That is a red herring technique you just tried to use there, bro.
All I'm saying is the real people who are more successful at their national titles are Urban Meyer being ahead of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Percy Harvin averaged 11 yards a touch.
Wow.
At Florida, and Aaron Hernandez.
Brandon Spikes was a beast too. Don't forget defensively.
And an awesome defense.
He was a dog. And the Pouncey brothers. I mean, they were great. Whatever. Urban Meyer recruited his ass off. Cannot wait to see Swamp Kings. That's not out yet, is it? Because that would be awkward if I say can't wait and then it's already out.
I think next week, I want to say it comes out.
22nd. 2 weeks.
Okay. There we go.
2 weeks.
Okay, let's go ahead and dive. Oh, I forgot to do it. Okay, so since, now we're on AMP, shout out AMP, download it. You can get involved there, listen to the show live there. We're not on YouTube live anymore, but youtube.com/@volumesnap sells all of our videos. We come to the comments and choose our favorite comment of each day. I think this is in response to me saying that I don't think Miami's ever going to come back, that I think they're dead forever. And granted, I had a couple chill Miami bros on Twitter hit me up, and I think they seem cool, so I feel kind of bad. I'm wrong all the time, but I do kind of feel that. Like, I don't think Miami's ever come back. And Philip Lugo, 1593, says, this guy obviously doesn't live in Miami, probably in some basement in Idaho, and he's just a hater. That's fair. I mean, look, I do not live in Miami. This room does not look unlike a basement in Idaho, but again, I think my point kind of fucking stands. Miami just, I don't know. I don't know how would I say this? Like, I feel like Miami back in the day used to trade on brand a lot. They were cool as hell and you were getting paid, but now everybody's getting paid and Miami's not cool. They haven't been cool.
What's the difference between Miami and Southern Cal 2 years ago? What's the difference?
Isn't USC like a way bigger school?
I don't think so.
I think Miami's like a small,
I know it's a small private school.
Historical football tradition. They've been to multiple conference championships.
Yeah, I mean that's also true. Like way more Heisman winners.
Yeah, but I mean, just think like you when you and I were growing up, T-Bob. Like Miami was the shit. Everyone loved the USC was rolling. Then they both kind of taken a dip over the past decade. And then now USC seems to have gotten it back together because they got one of the best coaches and they got a Heisman. Yeah. Why isn't Miami capable of turning it around with a great head coach and a quarterback to bring the U back? Like the U still to me has a lot of power.
They could look. Any college football program can be back pretty much if you get the right head coach. We have talked about, that's how I feel. We talk about this on Snaps all the time, right?
Some faster than others.
Sports. Yeah, for sure. Yes. But that's what I'm saying. I think some places have so much inherent power they can elevate a bad coach. I don't think that's the case in Miami. Like, I think that's a place that has to be elevated by their coach.
Well, I just want to keep USC in mind when we're talking about this. You're putting USC in the same thing though.
I think
USC hasn't had great coaching for the past decade. And so you're saying USC is a spot just like Miami that needed a coach to get elevated to where they are now.
I guess so. I would have thought that USC was a spot capable of elevating the coach, but I guess recent history would maybe prove that.
I mean, they've had two great coaches the past 2 decades, Pete Carroll, and then right now. That's it. Yeah. In between, it's been not great coaching and obviously pretty piss poor football.
Look, if you're a Miami fan listening to this, just know that, like, I don't even have any great fucking reason for this. Let's just lay our cards on the table, okay? Let's just be fucking honest. I just feel it in my balls. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It's like
the U could come back.
This is one of my look, you love Mark Richt. I get it. Okay. I get it. And that was a fun time. It was a fun time when he was there, but I don't know. It's like one of my favorite, speaking of debate tactics, one of my favorite tactics is when you have no great reasoning, you just call back to that one dude said in front of Congress about porn that one time where he was like, I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it. Okay. I don't know why I think Miami's never coming back, but I just feel it in my balls. My intuition tells me the U's never really going to be back. But also Mario Cristoforo, not that guy. Certified, not that guy. All right, let's dive into today's episode, though. Some shocking news. Look, we're going to talk Michael Oher and the blind side, as it appears that Oher was blindsided. Shout out Paul Farrington. We're going to look at the AP poll. AP Top 25 dropped us. I mean, this is breaking news show. The poll dropped about a couple hours ago. The Michael Oher article dropped a couple hours ago as well. We'll talk a little Michigan Wolverines today also. As always, youtube.com/@volumesnaps. If you're listening on demand, hit the like button, sub to the channel. The road to 3,000 continues. Also, if you're listening wherever you get Pod, Apple, Spotify, whatever, rate it, review it, share it with your friends. Thank y'all. All right. This Michael Oher story is crazy. first off, it's been so long since I've thought about The Blind Side. Thank you, Brum. This is what I was looking for. So if you're listening on podcast, Brum just brought up the picture from ESPN with the Tuohys, the two parents that supposedly, although we learn now what the truth is, adopted Michael Oher back when he was in high school. It has been so long since I've thought about The Blind Side, and it's crazy to look back. That was a movie that got nominated for Best Picture. Sandra Bullock, I think, won Best Actress. Like, it had a ton of success. I think I remembered liking it. When I saw this picture, I was struck by just how deeply untrustworthy these people look. Like, I didn't even read the art. Like, now I have, obviously, but I'm saying when I saw that, I had not read the article.
No, you knew what you're getting into when you read the article, though. You knew what you're getting into.
No. What I'm saying is though, before reading the article, my head, just from this picture, was already like lubed up to be like, they did it. Like, whatever Michael Oher is accusing these people of, they absolutely fucking did it. These are some people that are going to do whatever it takes to get to the top. I mean,
what is it? What is it? The butt chin? Like, what?
With the dad, it's a little bit. It kind of is mainly the butt chin and the wispy hair. But I mean, with Mama Tuohy, it is the Karen, John and Kate +8 Chihuahua hair top mixed with those red glasses. When you have that hair that she has in this picture, you are made from pure ambition. You are going to get your way, and not a single human being on the planet is going to stand in your way, even if that human being is 6'5", 350 pounds.
Well, they kind of portrayed that. They made her feel like that in the movie too.
True.
But yeah, like she was Ms. Boss Bitch. Like, whatever I want, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. Like, I'm the one who sets the rules. When I put my foot down, you better listen. So, like, thinking back to that character, and then looking at this picture a little bit, and then reading the article, you're like, okay, they hit on the personality trait. They just didn't hit on the fact that, I'm sorry to steal this from you, T-Bob. They Britney Speared her. They did. They Britney Speared her.
They Britney Speared Michael Oher.
Yes.
So that is the crux of the lawsuit. So in case you missed it, Michael Oher is now suing the Tuohy family, who, of course, it was the family that in the movie The Blind Side was portrayed as having adopted him and taught him football and helped him to have some stability, which then led to academic and athletic success and led to him end up Ole Miss. He goes on to play in the NFL, becomes Super Bowl champion, all this sort of stuff. We can get into maybe some of the weirdness about how he was portrayed in the movie, because like he was not a fucking like bumbling idiot. He was like a normal human being. But before we get there, lawsuit that came out, or that we learned about today, claims that when he was 18 years old, going into his senior year of high school, the Tuohys put a document in front of him that they said was essentially the same thing as adopting him, right? I'm trying to think about where the exact quote. I had a bunch of quotes talking about this. It gave them so basically he thought he was signing something that said, look, we're adopting, you're going to be our son now. What he was actually signing was a conservatorship, and they kind of presented it to him like it was the same thing. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to say that one thing that is clearly different between the conservatorship and being adopted is when you're adopted and you turn 18, you are an adult. You are your own man. You handle your own finances. You have your own name, image, and likeness. Under a conservatorship, that is not the case. Somebody else gets to strike deals with your name, image, and likeness. They get the money. You don't see a dime of it unless they deign to give it to you. That was why all the Britney Spears stuff, the Free Britney era, popped up, is because she was placed in a conservatorship and had to fight and claw and scratch her way out of it. The difference being is, with Britney, there is someone who, whether you agree or disagree, there was at least some argument to be made. Yes, that is she really the best steward of her empire? Can she make these decisions? Of course, I am Team Free Britney for whatever that's worth.
Free Britney.
With Michael Oher, I don't know how you argue this at all. This is a fully functioning, well-adjusted, super intelligent author, motivational speaker, multi-time. I mean, he played in 2 Super Bowls, won one. Like, there is no reason to believe that anyone should be in control of his name and in a conservatorship. And to add to the grease, Aaron, the lawyer who put this all together on behalf of the
This is the
Tuohys,
sketchiest part for me.
it's a close family friend of the Tuohys, Deborah Brannon.
Well,
And
it's also she's the agent too. That's the sketchy part.
She struck the deal on Oher's behalf for the Blindside movie, which saw Michael Oher get paid nothing from the Blindside movie. So so they have a conservatorship, they make the Blindside, and now Oher is saying that he's upset because they made percentage points off of the box office. This movie grossed over 300 million, and that the Tuohys and their children have all seen proceeds, while he is claiming to not have seen a single dime, which is at odds with what the Tuohys have mentioned at other times in the past, where they said they split it 5 ways.
I'm just amazed to me that I know that maybe he hasn't seen the document. That's why that this has all come out since February 2023 is when he sat down and looked at it. But you can't tell me he hasn't been in a locker room since that movie or been with friends or anyone that's like, oh, what'd you get paid for that? We saw that was a hit, and it was going to say nothing and not ask a question since then. So I just want to know that from him of what took you so long to realize that there had been money that had been made. And yes, maybe they said they didn't make maybe minimal dollars, but still it's something that you did not get at all. Why hadn't you been questioned from the very beginning? Where is my cut in this entire thing?
Well, okay, it's tough to say though. Okay, so I mean, so what he claimed,
because he knew they got paid. They just kept saying that it wasn't a lot.
Yeah,
more than what
true.
he was. It's still more than nothing. I'm still saying, okay, well, even if it's a little bit, it's more than what I'm seeing over here.
Well, but there is an interesting quirk here that gives him believability when he says that he just never looked into it. That movie got released in 2009. What else happened in 2009? He got drafted to go play for the Ravens in the first round. So all of a sudden he has a huge influx of money coming in, right? Multiple millions of dollars. And they're telling him, oh, we didn't make that much. Maybe he wasn't worried about it. Man, and then like he said, and I find this to be very believable. He was like, look, in my 8 years in the NFL, like it's so all consuming and I was so committed and locked in that like he didn't put the mental resources or emotional resources.
If you're in a locker room with a guy who had a movie made about his life, you can't tell me in those 8 years, not one of his teammates asked him what he got for that movie. That would have been the first damn question that I would have asked a teammate of like, what'd you get for that movie?
So I don't know
you.
I know, but I don't know how much even, I mean, I don't know how much he liked to talk to that movie about people, because everything he ever talks about since the movie is that he hated, it's been, a source of some of his deepest kind of scarring and anger because he hates how he was portrayed. Because again, he was portrayed as like a barely functional idiot, which is not the case at all. And he was portrayed as being taught football by the Tuohys, which reportedly was not the case at all. He was like, I studied the game my entire life. I just didn't have the stability that I needed to go out there and like play consistently and go to class consistently. I mean, he had to go to like 9 different schools in like 11 years. So
can we come back to one thing?
Yes.
Like, obviously the Oher thing doesn't really add up, that no one, like, he never brought it up at any point. But like the Tuohy's defense of it's not a big deal. We got 80% and you got 20. That's totally fair. Makes me think they're totally
see, I didn't even see that part. Oh, because you're saying they split it 5 ways. Yeah, even 5 ways is fucking crazy. You're right. You're right. That is a good point.
Like, even if they're like, we're splitting it 3 ways, me, my husband, and Michael, like, what? That's
so
by the most charitable definition of their own admission, they made 4 times as much as Michael Oher did.
So what was it? They got 2.5% of
that's what the
revenue brought
claims. In. Yeah, that's what the lawsuit claims. I find that maybe a bit hard to believe. I feel like 2.5 points on a box office is a lot, Brum. You may know better in terms of how Hollywood.
They said what $300 million was brought in the box office alone. That's $7.5 million.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if I don't know. I mean, whatever. If it's, but to me, it's like that's the money is bad, but I think what it's easy to lose sight of here is this is a real kind of emotional betrayal. Well, it's emotional betrayal because I think what gets lost in all this is that they had a very real relationship. Like I do believe that they once had a lot of love in their hearts for one another. And I believe that if he didn't think of them as his parents, he thought of them as something akin to his parents. And I think that actually that love probably goes a long way towards explaining why he kind of took them at their word when they said that there wasn't money. I mean, here's a quote from his lawyer in this piece that has come out now saying, quote, the lie of, and remember that the Tuohy's been going around calling him their adopted son and benefiting off of that fact for a long time now, when they specifically finagled things to not adopt him, but just become his conservator. Quote, the lie of Michael's adoption is one upon which co-conservators Leigh and Tuohy and Sean Tuohy have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward, the undersigned Michael Oher. Michael Oher discovered this lie to his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023 when he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Tuohy family, in fact, provided no familial relationship with the Tuohys. And it would go on to talk about how Mike didn't grow up with a stable family life. When the Tuohy family told Mike they loved him and wanted to adopt him, it filled a void that had been with him his entire life. Discovering that he wasn't actually adopted devastated Mike and wounded him deeply. And Aaron, we mentioned, well, why did this all take so long? It sounds like the relationship was pretty strong until the movie came out. And then he was very hurt about how he was portrayed in the movie. And then he learned he was the only member of the family not receiving royalty checks from the movie. Then he gets the lawyer to look into all of this. And in February, he discovers that he's not even a part.
Years, though.
In February, he discovers that he's not even a part of the family. Bro, I mean, look, I don't know. Gaslighting's a thing. How you feel. I mean, I think we're undervaluing how it looks cut and dry from the outside, but there's a lot of emotion in here. There's a lot of love in here. There's a lot of betrayal. There's a lot of broken heart in here. And I think when you really love and support someone, that sometimes it's going to take a while to get to that breaking point. It's kind of like he talks about his relationship with the movie where he says that he was like, it's complicated because a big part of him hated it, but he also knew it inspired a lot of others. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to keep quiet about it because the inspiration that it's bringing outweighs whatever personal issues I have. Now, later he opened up when he wrote his book and everything, but like, it's, I don't know. I guess I'm just not as bothered by the timeline of it. Like, I'm
not bothered by it. I just want to know
the facts. The facts are that they became conservators when they lied to him and said he's going to be adopted.
I'm just more questioning like what took him so long. That's it. I mean, it's been if you were pissed off from 2009, you knew that the money brought in. You're upset with the way it's portrayed. In my mind, they're just the wheels would be turning.
Well, he doesn't necessarily.
How am I benefiting from this entire thing? That's all I'm wondering.
True. Again, I mean, he seems to say that he was so consumed in football, but he only knows what Leanne and Sean are telling him. And who knows what they're telling him about how much money they're making or what the deal is.
Faith,
I mean, the very lawyer. Faith. Exactly. No, exactly.
Straight blind faith.
Exactly. But I mean, that fucking what is love but blind faith in the person that you love, right? I mean, that's like if you love who could I manipulate more than any other probably in this entire earth? My child and my wife. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Because they love me. And that's awful, but it feels like they knew what they were doing, dude. You do not present adoption. You do not present conservatorship document or
they know what they're doing
as adoption papers. That is effed up. That is rapacious. That is gaslighting. That is manipulative. I feel
especially with the kid like you allude to that has the history that he has.
Yeah,
like you're preying on the vulnerable at that point, which is just
very
disgusting.
Much so. Yeah. And let's also be clear, unlike the movie, the real story goes that Michael Oher was that maybe the Tuohys didn't become so into him until they already knew he was really awesome at sports.
Yeah.
And he was already staying in other places. He wasn't quite, the whole thing is greasy. And I know it's weird because that movie came out in 2009 and we all celebrated it. And even now, a decade later, before any of this came out, we kind of realized that this has some kind of stereotypical, like maybe questionable undertones here. And then, well, we learned that greasy rabbit hole goes even deeper. But as our good friend Paul Farrington said, all it does is set up the sequel, Blindsided.
Untold Stories, Blindsided, coming to Netflix in about 6 months.
Blindsided, the real Tuohy family, or something along those lines. But again, I actually I feel kind of like a dick now because I'm making jokes, but there is something deeply sad about this. Yeah. What should have been and was viewed as a really wholesome and great story and a loving story about, love transcending backgrounds, whatever else, it becomes something all too fucking familiar, which is greed and the pursuit of money, trumping all. So again, pull up the picture. And now that we've had all this discussion, pull up the picture again, bro. I mean, guys,
like straight Karen hair and glasses.
I mean,
it's. I mean, how many times have we heard similar stories though? And I'll kind of finish like this: like the amount of time I've seen buddies of mine be taken advantage because they're kind of just living in the moment, and someone else kind of just, once again, financially leeching onto them and taking from them.
Yeah,
we had a teammate of mine whose mother, for goodness sakes, as soon as he got drafted, goes to my mom and says, "It's time for me to get mine." I'm just like,
I mean, that's yeah. No, I mean, I remember like rookie symposiums and stuff where one of the core tenets was always how to tell your family no.
Yeah.
And like agents being like, look, that's our job. You send everybody to me or the financial manager, whoever. But that does actually, you bring up something else you just made pop in my head as well, is maybe the most messed up part is like they were already rich. Like that's kind of the entire core part of the movie.
Well, the question is, what else did they? What else is going to be dug up about what they've done in their past that kind of shows you what kind of people they truly are? Because you can't tell me that once again, like you brought up, they present this young man with this document, not knowing what it truly was. You have to be some kind of person ahead of time. Either you are in trouble yourself financially in some way, or you've done similar stuff in the past where you're just a fucking slime ball, essentially.
Yeah. A big pile of grease all the way around. Very Ole Miss as well. The whole thing is just reeks of kind of white collar crime and manipulation, which I don't know. That just feels like Ole Miss fans to me. I'm kidding, Ole Miss fans. Relax, dude. Relax. Yes, I am. It's okay. We ready to move on? You got anything else on Blindsided? Sad story.
Can't wait. Yeah, very sad.
You know what I am kind of excited for though, because I love drama. I'm going to be real interested to see what the defense is, because once again, a woman with that haircut does not take this lightly. Okay. Michael is starting a war. Here's to hoping that he can potentially win. Let's do a little AP poll reaction, Air Murray. So in case you missed it, there's a new AP top 25, and I'll give you the top 10, and then we can dive into some points. Number 1, UGA. Number 2, Michigan. 3, Ohio State. 4, Alabama. 5, LSU. 6, USC. 7, Penn State. 8, Florida State. 9, Clemson. And number 10, Washington. The Huskies getting in there at number 10 as voted on by the Associated Press. First off, Aaron, in the AP poll era, which starts in 1936, there have been 2 other teams that finished as AP number 1 2 years in a row, and then went for a third one in a row. Both finished number 2 in their quest for a repeat. And here, those Army in Alabama, and here UGA since number 1 once again, trying to be the first to ever do it in the AP era. Minnesota didn't do it in the AP era.
They didn't do it in the AP era. First time. It's time to set some records for them Bulldogs. I do like it. Besides one thing, I think LSU should be 4, Alabama 5. That's the first thing that kind of jumps out to me. I've said it multiple times on this show. I think LSU is a better team this year. I think they're the better team this season, and kind of seeing T-Bob and I were chatting a little bit before this show about Alabama and watching some of the highlights from some of the quarterbacks in practice. Just not overly impressed with what the Crimson Tide has back at the quarterback spot. I think the big thing too, you look at it, especially in the top 20, you have first off 2 Pac-12 teams inside the top 10, and then 5 inside the top 20 from the Pac-10.
So that more than anything really just speaks to how incredibly mismanaged the Pac-12 was. And there's no, I don't think I can point to any single, guilty party. I think it was a Patrick Chung, the Washington State AD, that maybe said it best, where he was just like, the Pac-12's demise was due to just really awful leadership on multiple different levels. And so now, yes, you have this very sad tale where you somehow have 5 teams in the top 20 for a conference that is not going to exist next year. And a couple of those teams, or at least one of those teams in Oregon State, may not even be playing Power 5 football, which is just flat out wrong. And in the age of transfer portal, we'll ruin them because everybody will leave. And it's whatever. I feel awful for Oregon State. Hey, okay. Well, before we get to Alabama, because I do want to play that quarterback tape next, Aaron, let me ask you this for you and your little UGA boys too. You see Stetson Bennett in the preseason, bro?
Yeah,
he looks pretty good, don't he?
He looked the best. All the rookie quarterbacks. He had the best weekend.
Oh, how about that? Stetson Bennett looking like
most underrated player of all time.
Yeah, like above average, right? Like very good, right? Like
Stafford better watch his back. Stetson's coming for him.
I talked about this morning. I think Matt Stafford quit playing football the second he won the Super Bowl. And it's not to say that he doesn't still like think that he wants it, but like, I don't know, dude. I think, mission accomplished. Yeah. But then he got paid, so he had to. But like, mission accomplished, dude. Get on out of here. But Aaron, on behalf of your people, does it not make you even the slightest bit nervous to see Stetson balling in the NFL? Hold on, Brum. Not yet. God dang it.
Don't peek so soon. My goodness. Where do you get Jalen Milroe from Stetson Bennett?
I don't know, dude. Control your boner, Brum.
Or he just wants us to get off Stetson Bennett's.
No. I need to know if it intimidates Georgia fans. This is a legitimate question. I'm not trolling. Like,
does
it not freak you out at all that Stetson's playing very well? Because Georgia fans have been trying to explain to me that they've been winning in spite of Stetson for years now, but I don't know, dude.
No, because they still won because they had a balanced football team. They still won because they won the best defenses in the country. They still won because they had an incredible offensive line, the best tight end. Stetson was a major factor. Don't get me wrong. They didn't win in spite of Stetson. But I do just think I don't think it freaks him out. I think it just tells the story of Stetson a little bit more to the people that are still hating that he was just a walk-on, that he did benefit from an incredible football team and Kirby Smart and whatever other excuse you want to make, that no, this kid was a really good football player and a really good quarterback that by all accounts, because of Stafford's injury history, is probably going to be a starting quarterback at some point this season in the NFL.
Yeah, think about that, dude. That's crazy compared to what people would have said.
So I think to me, it's more of just shutting up the haters than it is freaking Georgia fans out like, oh my God, we did have that. We took it for granted. And now we have unproven guys that, are 4 and 5 stars, which we wanted. But Stetson was pretty fucking good.
What did who said it? I don't know who said it. Be careful what you wish for, Bulldog fans, because you just might get it. And when it shows up, it's just Mike Bobo, and you have to pretend to be excited because you've convinced yourself that Mike Bobo. What? That's your boy, dude. I get it. I'd be pumped too.
And I hope that the Georgia quarterbacks took from Stetson.
Speaking of
his cocky mentality. Just there's a reason why he's transitioning so well. Like Stetson firmly believes
that Stetson's a fucking man.
That he's probably better than Matthew Stafford. I guarantee you deep down in Stetson's head, he's sitting back saying, I should be the starting quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams.
Actually, it's kind of funny, and then we'll move on. Sorry, crazy. I know I can hear Brum cringing because we're talking so much Stetson here, but his whole like whirlwind tour of the offseason where he was like getting in trouble and like kind of being a dick to the cops and like being a dick to the crowd and to the reporter. It all does kind of speak to maybe why he's so good, right? Because of that F you, I'm the man attitude. He's got a little Kenny Powers in him. That old Stetson Bennett does. I like that. All right. So speaking of Alabama, you say they should be 5th in this list, not 4th. I'd be, whatever, splitting hairs. I feel you, though. I love Michigan at 2, Ohio State at 3, sure. I believe that Michigan deserves to be 2. I don't really care what you want to do with Ohio State in the top 5. But yeah, let's talk Alabama because Saturday reports, it's weird. I've seen some reports saying this, but nothing too concrete where I feel like this is something that you should run with, but I will put it out there since, it's kind of rumor season. But word on the street is Jalen Milroe is actually taking the majority of 1 reps, which does mean that we've officially now reached the point where I've heard rumors on every guy being the guy, right? Like talking to SC Media Days, I had some guys from Alabama tell me, oh, we heard like Ty Simpson. I had other guys tell me, no, it's actually going to be Bucknervis started today. And then now people are saying Jalen Milroe. So we've run the gamut. We've completed the trio.
I think they really wanted Ty to take it. Like, Ty, this is your job. Go take the damn thing. And he's just not separating. I think it's pissing people off in the building. I think it's pissing Saban off. I feel like it's pissing the staff off. Like, you've waited for your turn. We try to make it your job, and you're just not taking the damn bull by the horns, unfortunately. And so then all of a sudden,
by the tusks.
The elephant by the tusks, the dick by the balls, whatever you want to say.
Okay, that was a reach.
And that was a little bit of a reach. And then I just think then all of a sudden you run the pressures of, is this kid truly ready to play? Is he truly ready to be the starting quarterback? We've given you the opportunity. You can't take advantage of it. Jalen's played football. Buckner's played significant amount of football, not a ton, but a decent amount, obviously more than Ty Simpson has. I don't think he's earned the trust of the coaching staff, and that's a problem. I still think that he has time. I still think that they're going to try and figure out a way to make sure that he is the guy come season time. But I don't know how you can sit back with Jalen Milroe's turnover issues and still say today that he's going to be the guy. I would still rather give the ball to Buckner and just say, don't screw it up. Just don't screw it up. Alabama's in a don't screw it up kind of season. If they don't screw it up and they don't turn the ball over, they're a 10-2, 11-1 football team.
Yeah, so run the ball with Milroe. That's the best way to not turn it over.
I don't know if you can be one-dimensional and win.
Ball, dude.
You can't be one-dimensional and win. I know they want to, all the things you're saying, oh, we're going to be bully football and we're going to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage. We're going to dominate people. Good. But guess what? Teams in the SEC have recruited really good big guys on defense. LSU has some depth and some size on the defensive line. A&M has some depth and some size, and you expect hopefully those guys can be a little bit better against the run this season. All those young guys that played last year. Like, you can't expect of Alabama a decade ago that was significantly better than everyone else, that could just line up and dominate, can just all of a sudden flip a switch, an offensive line that's not been dominant for 2 years, and then play that style of football all of a sudden this year. I don't think they can do it. I don't think a team can do that right now. So I'm not buying we're just going to line up and be a team that 60% of the time runs the football and we're going to win an SEC championship. That's not going to get it done.
I would actually love it. I mean, I would hate it because I don't want Alabama to win, but I would love it if somebody just said, F it, we're going back to it's kind of what Matt Rule Nebraska are trying to do a little bit right now.
Doing it a little bit.
Michigan is doing it a little bit. You're right. I apologize.
Doing it a little bit.
But then, funnily enough, we actually feel like the key to Michigan getting better is throwing the ball more.
Throwing the football.
So to your point.
You can't be one-dimensional. It can get you far. It can get you far. But it ain't going to win a championship.
Okay. Now,
Hurricanes example. Example. Alabama with Jalen could run the football. But they needed Tuohy to come in there to win it for them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're right. Bro, now you can hit the tape. Aaron, you're a big watch the film guy. Break down this quarterback play for us from Alabama.
I mean, it's routes on air. So, I mean, Ty is definitely the most fluid of the three throwing the football. I'm not impressed with
Buckner's nasty. That's
Buckner's, doesn't really get me excited too much. Ty is nice. Like that's
I was good mechanics, but I don't know that I liked where the ball ended up that much. Like it was supposed to be back shoulder. No, I know it's supposed to be back shoulder. I didn't feel like it was back shoulder enough, but the other guys are maybe too back shoulder. I don't know. All I'm saying is none of this inspires a ton of confidence. And this is the school released footage. Like this is like state-run media. This is like what President Putin would give to the news stations he run. Like this was not filmed by a reporter or anything. So in a way, this is like some of the best footage they're going to give you.
Let's just lower expectations. There's nowhere near Bryce Young on this tape, and it took Bryce Young being Superman to get that team to where they were last year.
See, Brum here, if you're watching on YouTube, just put a question on the bottom of the screen. Is Saban the new Putin? Brum, the real question is Putin the new Saban, right? Former great, head of a crumbling empire. I mean, war crimes as the head of a secret military force. They have a lot of similarities. The two do. Okay, sorry, we have really lost thread here. Back to the top 25, Aaron Murray. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU, USC, Penn
Florida State continues to just impress people, man. Yeah, USC at 6, Florida State at 8. I love it. You know what's gonna be interesting? The Big Ten East with Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State is gonna be we talk about the SEC West. I always still say the SEC West from top to bottom is more competitive.
It is.
But obviously those three teams are all good enough to be in the Big Ten championship game, where I still think it's a two-man race to win the SEC West, sure. LSU, Alabama. It truly is. Penn State's good enough to beat Michigan. Penn State's good enough to beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Will they? I won't put my money on them to do it, but they at least are good enough to do it. Like the third team in the SEC West is not good enough to beat both Alabama and LSU.
So I mean, look, to your point, it is wild that you could have three teams in the top 10 from the same half of a conference, which is top 7, which is what the Big Ten has here. Florida State 8, hell yeah, man, hype it up. Orlando,
hell yeah,
going down Sunday night.
Texas 11, that's my number. Let's go. God,
I love
11, and that burnt orange would have looked so good if they would have given me a scholarship.
See, Georgia.
Notre Dame at 13 seems a little high for me.
This is
a little high.
He wished he played in Texas. He wished he was never in
scholarship. I wish I had a scholarship. Notre Dame at 13 seems a little high for me. A little high.
I mean, okay, who would you put ahead of him though? Maybe Oregon. Maybe Oregon. Utah. I mean, if anything, Notre Dame will probably fall because they got a very tough schedule, because they always do, even though nobody ever wants to give them credit for it. But like, I don't hate any of these other teams. I don't think I like any of these other teams behind Notre Dame enough to put them over.
First team to drop outside the top 25.
How do we feel about Wisconsin? I know nothing about Wisconsin. I guess it's impossible to try to predict Wisconsin this year, but I could definitely see them falling out. They're at 19. Oklahoma probably has an easier schedule. They should be fine. I mean,
Iowa?
Never. No. Iowa will not drop out the top 25. They have Brian Ferentz. They're completely fine. I think that I would say, and I'm trying not to choose somebody just at the bottom, right? Because like if Tulane loses, obviously they're going to drop out.
I still need to see it prove it from TCU. I
hate to say it because I think TCU look good on paper, but I was going to say TCU.
Yeah, I'm going TCU. My first team in here because Kansas State's got their quarterback back. I think TCU, man, you exceeded expectations by going last year to a national championship, and say what you want. Like there's massive expectations now that, let's do it again this year, or let's get back and win the Big 12. And I think you may see a significant drop from TCU this season.
I would still say
9-3 team.
I don't believe this is going to happen because college football is all about the coach. And I think Luke Fickell is one of the best in the entire country, but Wisconsin still is interesting to me because they're such a complete unknown. Is it like how
new offense?
Well, and not just a new offense, right? But it's like somebody fucking discovered alien technology and just dropped it in their midst and was like, hey, figure it out. Like, are they going to be ready to go out the gate? Are they going to take maybe by the end of the year, they're coming on and playing strong, but are they going to hold the top 25 ranking throughout the entirety of the year with Phil Longo running the air raid in Wisconsin? I don't know. I can see that potentially going awry. So I got no other great takeaways. I'm so sick. I mean, look, I love polls. Don't get me wrong, but after watching some preseason football this weekend, I'm ready for actual football.
Yeah.
Because the New Orleans Saints are going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, did you see Derek Carr, dude? Unbelievable, dude.
Jameis Winston, bro. It's his year.
Well, no, Derek Carr's the quarterback now. Did you know that?
No, I did know that. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Okay,
when he gets hurt, Jameis looks pretty damn good.
J-Mo Dimes. Love Jameis. One of my favorite
Dimes.
quarterbacks ever, even though he's like not done that much. How could you not like Jameis Winston? Aaron, real quick on the way out here. I know where you have to do this in official capacity sometime, but you got to go to a screening of Gran Turismo. I did not.
Ooh.
How was it?
Have you not gotten it yet?
I haven't gotten it yet. Was it badass?
It was
screener
really...
arrives on a Wednesday.
Oh, let's go, dude.
There we go. So Thursday, you want to do a little in-depth Gran Turismo?
Yeah, well, I think we're paid
Gran
to.
Turismo talk this week. That's
I think we're actually advertising for. But okay, let's just go full disclosure here. But it
was really damn good.
It's actually awesome.
It was phenomenal. I was texting the group right afterwards. Like even my wife, I didn't know. Like I brought Sharon with me, was not anticipating her to like love the movie. She's like, "Damn, that was an awesome movie." Like no joke.
Yeah.
Like it was. I thought it was well done. I don't think it was cheesy at all. Like you kind of go to a movie like that, like. Is it going to be too cheesy? Is it going to be the same storyline?
It looks cheesy from the trailer. It doesn't look bad, but it does look cheesy when what's his name from David Hopper a million times is like, this ain't no video game. This is real life. Lives are on the line.
There are a couple of that, but it's in good moments where it flows nicely.
Okay, hell yeah.
I always judge a movie of would I watch it again? Like if I'm in an airplane, would I watch it again? I would probably watch it 2 or 3 times. And if I needed a movie on Delta, like it's that good. Yeah.
You know what movie I saw? I rewatched over the weekend. I only got to rewatch like the first hour of it, but it was so good again. The original Fast and the Furious. Oof. Mm-hmm. I forgot how fast, dude. It is just like
unbelievable.
I don't think I've seen that movie since I was in 6th grade and came out of it wanting a Honda Civic with underglow. But it is like the style
win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning, T-Bob.
Oh my God, when he's real racers know. Dominic Toretto. And then but now you're a Fast and Furious expert because I have not seen past Tokyo Drift. But I mean they go to space at some point, right?
Correct.
So what? It is.
What was this?
I'm telling you, bro. Apparently, it got crazy.
Tyrese and Ludacris they're launched on a back of a rocket in a Honda, and they destroy a satellite. It's like how Fast 9 ends.
Oh my God! Can it just end?
How
was the newest one?
It was solid.
Yeah. But hold on. The point of that is. It is crazy to think about that, like going to space when you view the first one, and Dom's just like, he's probably in his early 30s.
It's not like literally the plot of the movie is like the rival gang steals DVD players.
Yeah. He's just like a chill little street criminal. But hey, I guess his ambition knew no bounds.
I mean, this is a franchise that got The Rock, lost The Rock, and is bringing back The Rock.
How does
11 and 12?
How does Vin Diesel feel about that though? Because he was very much out on The Rock when he felt like The Rock was trying to hijack the series.
Vin Diesel brokered a peace treaty, like it's Israel and Palestine.
Wow,
between The Rock and Vin Diesel.
Well, you know what else? It seems like the next great car franchise, Gran Turismo. Actually, probably not because it's like a true story, but Gran Turismo. I'm excited to check it out for sure.
Check it out.
All right, that'll do it for today's show. Sorry we didn't get to Michigan. We can do Michigan tomorrow. I mean, we got some Michigan talk in there. Remember, as always, comment on all the YouTube videos. We'll comb through them. It seems like insulting us is a great way to get highlighted as the opening statement of the day, opening comment. And I agree that I find them all to be very funny. So make fun of us. YouTube.com/@VolumeSnaps. Hit the like button, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You just Google Snaps Podcast, Apple, Spotify, anything. Huge thank you to Ryan Brumley, Adam Gracia, Danny Cardenas, Chris Tran, Pat Gunther. Huge thank you to Aaron Murray. Huge thank you to Papa Colin and the Volume. Huge thank you to Gran Turismo. And a huge thank you, most of all, to those of you who support the show by listening and giving us your time and hanging out with us. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Snaps.